Welcome in, everybody. It's the coach. This is Madden 20 on EA Sports. We are moments away from what should be an excellent matchup between the Minnesota Vikings and the San Francisco 49ers. With that, let's get you out to Silicon Valley, Levi Stadium in Santa Clara, as we welcome in our broadcast team, Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
We're about 40 miles south of Candlestick Point as we welcome you inside Levi Stadium in Santa Clara. The scene a short time ago, this crowd, they loved their 49ers, and they were in full roar as their guys burst out of the locker room. And we're ready for football as the 49ers get set to do battle with the Minnesota Vikings. Brandon Godden and Charles Davis with you from our broadcast perch. And Charles, as we get this thing started, what are you going to be keeping your eye on?
Special teams. Field position is always a big determiner in a ball game. Who sets their offense up for success the best, that team will win the game.
Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. This will be fielded at the 6. And nice work on the return as they'll start their drive just past the 30-yard line. Kirk Cousins, the 31-year-old quarterback in his second season with the Vikings, bringing them out the rest of this offense. And it's also the first time that Kirk Cousins has quarterbacked a team to double-digit victories. The Vikings reaching that plateau for the second time in 3 years after winning 13 back in 2017. But for Kirk Cousins, the numbers have been good. Second straight year on track to top 70% completion-wise. Also the fewest amount of interceptions that he has had. And when you consider he's been playing a large part of this season without his Pro Bowl wideout Adam Thielen, makes the numbers that much more impressive. Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. The first carry now for Dalvin Cook. He'll wind up getting a yard on the game's first play. It's 2nd down. And the offensive starters for the Vikings.
For a lot of people, there are pros and cons to playing close to home in the NFL. But for Adam Thielen, it's nothing but pros. Grew up not too far from the Twin Cities, loves being a Viking, and is a really dependable third down receiver.
The run only got a yard. Here's 2nd and 9.
Here we go.
From the gun, here's Cousins. He's got it complete to Stephon Diggs. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. 22 yards there, a 1st down.
I think it all came together there. In-breaking route, drove it with excellent pace. Money throw right there to move the sticks.
Cousins now to throw on 1st down. It's complete to Diggs. And he's going to be taken down here with a penalty flag on the field. So a decent gain, but all for naught on the penalty.
It's too bad, isn't it? They were feeling pretty good about it. The only people celebrating, the guys who just gave up that play.
So following the hold, they're in a bit of a hole here with a 1st and 20.
Tight down. There you go.
Cook following the penalty. And an alley to run. They get a good chunk of that penalty yardage back. A gain of 15. 2nd down.
Now that was an excellent run. And when you see that happen, that's when you're seeing guys doing their job and then some people doing a little bit more. Offensive linemen and tight ends, they're expected to block. But the wide receivers, all they want to do is catch passes. So when they block on a big-time running play and create extra space, you've kind of hit the jackpot there.
And very little there. He might have gotten a yard. Yeah, I think he got a yard to the 41. And a look now at the defensive starters for San Francisco.
Jaworski Tartt came out of Samford University in Alabama, and he is a guy who is an absolute flash at the safety position.
An extra DB for the 49ers now on third. Draw play, Cousins to Cook. And he's able to get the first before he's taken down at the 36. They get 5 out of that one, and it moves the chains. If you make the stop there, maybe you hold them to 3 on this opening drive. They didn't get the stop.
Yeah, new set of downs now. Now you're worried about, just as you pointed out, not just giving up 3, possibly giving up 6. Let's see what they decide to do here, because they've got to change up what they have been doing. It hasn't been working.
So from the 36 now, 1st and 10.
You got nothing. You got nothing.
On play action, Cousins. And he's got the hook up here. It's Kyle Rudolph. And he takes this just a few yards shy of the red zone before going out. 13 yards as the Vikings pick up the first down.
Such a valuable commodity to have a tight end who can run and get open. How about what he just did there? Worked his way from right to left across the field and found his way free.
This will be stopped about 2 yards shy of the marker. 8-yard gain, 2nd and 2.
It's a game of matchups, and that's why you take your receivers and move them around a bunch, especially your best guys. And when they work out of the slot, you often hear the coaches talk about how great it is because it gives you a two-way go. You can break out or you can break in. That makes it hard to defend.
From the 16, Cousins. And Diggs has it. And he will be brought down at about the 6-yard line. A Vikings first down. Diggs able to find his way free and get the catch from Cousins.
His passing's been on point on this drive, hasn't it? Been very accurate, gotten the ball downfield, gained nice chunks of yardage. But now, in this situation, the field is really condensed, partner. So if he's going to throw the football, it has to be pinpoint here.
I was going to ask you about that. Field shrinks, has to be sharper, but it's been a good opening drive so far.
Now they just want to see if they can cap it off with the bell ringer and put it in the end zone.
Be interesting to see now what they do offensively down near the goal line after not much there that time.
As the offensive play caller, that may change your sequence now. Instead of coming right back with a running play, you may have to go to the air.
They try again with Cook, and he'll get in. Touchdown, Minnesota. Taking it in from 4 yards out. And the Vikings take the ball down the field and score on their opening drive. Quite the drive there to get things started. They took up the bulk of the first quarter, and they end up in the end zone.
And I love your last point. Ended up in the end zone. Because a lot of teams like those long drives, especially to keep their offense off the field, right? Keep the ball away from them. But they finished it with a touchdown. That's the exclamation point. Now, flip it over defensively. They've got to slow that down somehow, right? Maybe they need to be a little more aggressive, maybe a few more pressures towards the quarterback.
And they got the extra point, and that makes the score 7-0. A 10-play drive that time. And it's capped off by the touchdown run coming from Dalvin Cook. Bailey now to kick it away after the touchdown. That'll be taken in the end zone. And he won't return this one. He'll go down to a knee, and they'll start at the 25. So here are the Niners now to get their first drive. And they're led out by a guy who learned from one of the great ones in his first few years in Tom Brady. This is Jimmy Garoppolo.
When you're back up to one of the all-time great players, if you don't spend time picking that guy's brain or just watching and observing how he does things to increase your game, then you've wasted that time. I don't think Jimmy Garoppolo is that type of a player. I think those lessons learned have a chance to transmit themselves very well.
Garoppolo going to bring the Niners up here 1st and 10 at their 25-yard line. Garoppolo after the fake give to Breida. And he's taken to the ground, but he was pulled down by the face mask. Here come the flags. And I believe this is going to be a first down. So that flag will cost him 15.
And it doesn't matter anymore how you get the face mask. Any part of it, that's going to be 15 yards.
And this should be the final play before the quarter ends.
Let's go, boys.
After 1, 7-0 on EA Sports.
Here we go.
So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33.
Three bud, three bud, three bud. Jim.
They'll start out on the ground with Coleman. A good run there on 1st down, and it'll leave them with a 2nd and 2.
They'd love to just strike back with a touchdown right here, and if it's a long play, so be it. But the main goal, get a couple of first downs, run some plays, run some clock, allow their defense to get a chance to catch their breath, settle down, and relax a little bit after they just gave up a score.
Now the Georgia Southern man, it's Matt Breida. And not much there at all. Maybe a yard up to the 43.
And the big fella stuffed that one up in a big way. I think doubling him has to be a priority because you can't move up to the next level if you don't take care of him first.
Here we go. 180. 54. Get that quarterback.
They'll try to pick this up on the ground with Breida. And he'll be brought down somewhat awkwardly here, and a late flag as well. I think this one's going to be a face mask. Officials so cognizant of that call nowadays, but that one looked pretty easy.
Yeah, you're right. They took out of their hands having to wonder whether it's a 5-yard or a 15-yard inadvertent or not. Now, it's a lot easier. You see it, you call it.
So the yellow flag came out, and that leads to a new set of downs for this offense. 1st and 10. Garoppolo gives to Breida. Able to push forward for about 4 down to the 37.
When we see those runs to the perimeter, when we see those runs to the edge, we think about big breakers, don't we? In this case, it was a modest gain, but it does open up possibilities here on 2nd down.
Following the pickup of 4, here's 2nd and 6.
He can't hang. He's not going to get me.
On 2nd down, a run with Breida. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. It'll go as a loss of a yard, and it'll set up 3rd down. Another example right there how this defense really is winning the entire game at the point of attack.
Yeah, right there at the line of scrimmage because they are dominating it. It allows their interior guys to get upfield and spill into the backfield. So how are you going to combat that? You know, because they bring in your tight end, keep him in, your running backs, they have to step forward. Bottom line, your offensive line has to block them first to give yourself a chance.
Rip left.
Throwing is Garoppolo on 3rd down. And the catch made. This is Emmanuel Sanders. And a pretty nice tackle there, ranging up from his free safety spot as he'll stop him about a yard short.
So much about offense is what you call hidden yardage. You know, you throw the ball to someone, they catch it, and then they can make a big play. You know, they create a play, run after catch. They did a really nice job there of limiting that and keeping him from a 1st down.
Yeah, stopped him in his tracks. So Garoppolo off. Coming on is the veteran Robbie Gould for the 49er field goal. It'll be a 49-yard attempt from the left hash. And the 14-year trusty veteran able to knock it through. And they are on the board, but still trailing. It's 7-3. Now, that's something of a pick-me-up. The offense certainly has struggled, but they do get the field goal before half to put 3 on the board.
Yeah, you don't want to be shut out, but let's face it, those 3 points, that's not going to solve all their problems either.
The lead cut to just 4 as they kick it away and turn things over to their D. That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Now the Minnesota Vikings coming back out as they get the football here. Now, it's been over 4 decades since the Vikings played in the Super Bowl, and you don't know if this is going to be the year that they get back. But there has not been a lot of talk about this Minnesota team. A double-digit win season and a lot of good teams in this conference, and I feel like they're a little bit under the radar. But top 10 in both offense and defense. You got dynamic players on both sides of the football. And we'll see what this Minnesota Vikings team can do down the stretch if they can make a little noise. One thing's for sure, they've been very good at home this season. Now a deep ball here, hauled in just past the 50. And he'll take this to the other side of midfield before going out of bounds. So a challenge coming down from the booth, and that's where these challenges come from, of course, in the final 2 minutes of the half.
Yeah, now we're going to New York, right? That's command central for the officials. They'll talk, they'll take a look at it, communicate with the referee at the game site, and issue a final decision because they do have the final call now.
Coming up at halftime in a little less than 2 minutes, we'll send you to Orlando where Jonathan Coachman is standing by. He'll have highlights and analysis of this first half. Now a throw left sideline here is complete, and he'll be brought down at the 45-yard line. That first down completion only netted him 3. 2nd and 7. Here's Cousins. This one taken in by Olabisi Johnson. And this will move the chains again as the tackle's going to be made at the 49ers 36.
One thing I can say pretty safely, that route is not called if you don't have a guy who can throw the ball and put some mustard on it. Because if you're going to lollipop it in the middle of the field, bad things usually happen. It takes a strong-arm guy who can rifle it in there, and they were able to successfully complete that one.
And Rudolph has it, the tight end. And he's brought down, but not before he reaches the 8-yard line. The Vikings going to signal for the first of their timeouts, as the stoppage will come with a little under a minute to go in this first half. Again, it's Cousins. To the end zone, but it's incomplete. Stephon Diggs, his intended receiver. But it'll be 2nd and goal.
You got to be precise with your throws, especially in this situation. You're inside the 10-yard line going into the end zone. But sometimes the emotion, the excitement, sometimes the decisions just aren't made very well because of that.
Nothing on first down, so the ball remains at the 8-yard line. 2nd and goal. Setting up the screen for Cook. And he will score. Touchdown, Vikings.
Touchdown,
Dalvin Cook. He scored on the ground and through the air. And the Vikings are going to widen that advantage. And that'll give them a 2-score lead here, but I'm looking ahead. They just want to hold it for the final moments here of the second quarter. They don't want to give up anything on the other side.
No, not at all, because if they don't, it almost had the feel of an imposing their will score. And right now, they want to make sure they keep that and carry it into the second half.
Extra point try by Bailey. And this one's right through to make it a 14-3 ball game. So the drive there took 6 plays, and it all culminates in a touchdown for Minnesota. Bailey now to kick it away after the touchdown. This one fielded at the 5. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here at the 30-yard line.
Let's go, boys. Bring it up.
San Francisco coming back out here, CD. This is a franchise that this year will end a 5-year playoff drought. That's the good news. Great record, but it could have been even better, really. You think about some of the heartbreaking losses. Overtime to Seattle, a field goal at the horn by Justin Tucker and the Ravens, and then that real shocker against Atlanta Week 15, Julio Jones, the touchdown, no touchdown right there at the goal line.
And that's the one that we shouldn't have been as surprised, only for this reason. They were so injured, so beat up, so many starters not playing in that game, and they took Atlanta to the limit, although I guess we would say Atlanta took them to the limit and found a way to win. But I do think that this 49ers team, with health in the playoffs, is dangerous as any team in the NFC.
They only got a yard out of that last completion, and that makes this 2nd and 9.
Go.
Looking to throw, Garoppolo. His throw incomplete. Deebo Samuel was the intended receiver, and it's 3rd down.
It's been my observation there's been a nice variety of play calling defensively. You and I often talk about an offense's ability to keep a defense off balance with what they're doing. I think the converse has been true in this game.
Yeah, I think you're right. They seem to have gone off tendency quite a bit, but only the second quarter. A lot of time to change things. Garoppolo. He's got his man. It's Kendrick Bourne. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. Now San Francisco going to call their 2nd timeout as they'll stop it with 25 seconds to go here in half number 1.
Here we go. Wait, 80. Mike 54. Watch the run. Watch the run. Watch the run.
Throwing on first is Garoppolo. The first catch of the game for George Kittle. And he's got this down to the 35.
Let's go.
Another good gain. That's now 35 yards combined on those last 2 plays. Now a timeout signaled for, and they'll get it with 10 seconds to go before halftime. So even though it's first down, here's the field goal unit on now to try to get 3 before halftime. It'll be spotted on the right hash, a 52-yard attempt. And this is good. It was running out of gas there at the end, but he winds up getting just enough on it. So a big play before the end of the half to get him into this spot, and they cash in with 3.
How about the 1-2 to the solar plexus on that one? The big play, the field goal, not much time left on the clock. That's the way to go into the half.
So the lead trimmed down to 8 as here comes the kickoff, and it's away. That's fielded in the end zone. And not wanting to risk anything here late in the half, he'll just take a knee, and they'll bring the football out to the 25. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. Time for a final kneel down or a safe run, and then they can head to the locker room with a lead.
Yeah, or they can even run a screen. You know, something they feel is somewhat safe that might actually pop and turn into a big play. That's what you usually run in this situation.
Or go 4 verticals because why not?
Because you're feeling it, right? You're just feeling it.
Okay, Brandon, thanks very much, and welcome everyone to this abridged version of the EA Sports Halftime Report. This game's had a little bit of everything thus far, and certainly plenty to look forward to as the teams are right back out there for the second half. So we'll get right back out there as well, as we'll turn it back over to Brandon Godden.
Okay, Coach, appreciate it. A 1-touchdown game here as we get set to resume play in the second half. Both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. Fielded about a yard deep. And he'll get it up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. Here comes the 49ers offensive unit as they'll have it first to begin this third quarter. They're close game, but they're going to need to do a little bit better probably here in half 2, no?
I would agree with that totally. I would guess it in the locker room. They talked about cleaning up some of the errors, but overall, I think they wanted to be positive with them. Guys, we're right there. Just not playing as well as we need to. Let's pick it up, and we still have a chance to win this game.
Yeah, they do. We'll see if they can pick it up. Garoppolo going to bring the Niners up here first and 10 at their own 22. They throw right away, and that's complete out on the right side. And the result here, a pickup of 8. Leaves them with 2 to go on second down.
Nice rhythm throw there on first down. He located his tight end, made it a nice easy pitch and catch.
Hoping he can break a tackle or two. Wasn't able to do that there, but still good yardage. Facing a 2nd and 2 after that last catch, good for 8 yards. Now it's Breida. And he'll only get a yard to bring up 3rd and 1.
I have to think a major focus of the halftime meetings had to be figuring out how to create space for the running game to get operating.
Well, what you pointed out to me at half seems accurate. That line has struggled to sustain blocks.
Yeah, I would agree with that totally. They've got to focus on staying on their double teams at the first level, make sure that block's secured before they slide off and try and chip someone at the second level.
And he's able to get it to the 33. Good enough for a first down. They only get 2 there, but on 3rd and 1, that's all they needed to keep the drive going.
Well, they're hoping that the second half is better for him than the first half. They've got to find a way to get him going. He's a big part of their offense.
So they'll come up first and 10 now from the 33.
Let's go, defense. Let's get out the field. Defense.
They'll run with Coleman on first down. It's a 6-yard pickup, and it gets him to 2nd and 4.
Let's talk a little football 101 here, because one of the keys to advancing the ball downfield, success on first down. Huge difference, as we know, between 2nd and 4 and 2nd and 8 and 9.
The last run got 6, now 2nd and 4. Now they'll throw with Garoppolo. The Vikings after him, and they get there for the sack. The sack by big number 98, Linval Joseph.
So one quick, easy analysis about why they've struggled so far. They keep putting themselves in 3rd and long situations. They just took another sack right there.
And the offensive film session tomorrow may be a little longer than it normally is.
Not a lot of positive grades will be handed out thus far.
Well, that last sack, it puts Garoppolo and the 49ers in a tough spot. They face a 3rd and long. From the gun on 3rd, Garoppolo. And that is incomplete.
We're into the second half now, and this is an offense that continues to struggle to sustain a drive.
Looks like they're just totally out of sync, whether they're running the ball, passing the ball like we saw there. I don't know. The rhythm seems off. Here comes the 49ers punter now. And surprisingly, this is the first punt of the game for either team. Fair catch called for and made at the 16 or maybe the 17-yard line. So a change of possession here on the punt. And the Vikings will take over here 1st and 10. It's the Vikings' turn on offense. We get ready for their first possession of the second half. They have the lead here. Well, we talk a lot about pregame speeches. What are halftime speeches like?
For the most part, not nearly as emotional. They're a lot more clinical. Every now and then, though, they'll get after you if they think they need to light a fire. But in this case, let's go into the virtual locker room, because here's what I think happened. They got in there and they said, listen, let's take control right away. Defense, we got the lead. Defense, don't give up any points. Turn the ball back over to the offense and let
Stephon Diggs, touchdown, Vikings. Stephon Diggs, 83 yards. And the Vikings are going to widen that advantage. Always important to get the first score of the second half. Now you start to pull away a little bit and get some breathing room going.
And now we find out about the fortitude of the group that's behind, because they were counting on getting into the game a little bit more, right? Maybe they get the first score. That doesn't happen. It looks almost insurmountable, but it's not. Let's see how hard they play the rest of the game.
Now Bailey to tack on the extra point. It's up and good, and that'll make the score 21-6. Those are the ones the offensive coordinators dream about. One-play drives from that distance. What an effort. It results in the touchdown. Bailey now to kick it away after the touchdown. That'll be taken in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. The San Francisco offense getting their last-minute instructions before they take over here. And here we are almost through 3 quarters of play, and this passing game still has not really found any kind of rhythm.
Put it mildly, because they're not even over 100 yards yet. And in today's NFL, where it's a pass-first league, that is quite surprising. Not many teams patient enough to stick with the run. Everybody wants to advance the ball through the air. They've got to get their timing back.
Garoppolo going to bring the Niners up here 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. They'll start on the ground with Breida. Oh, a nifty juke there.
Not much fun for a guy trying to tackle him.
And they're going to get him behind the line yet again as his nightmare afternoon continues. The Niners have the first down on a gain of 11.
Sometimes with the running game, you've just got to stick with it. Look, it's the 3rd quarter, no time to panic. But that also doesn't mean you just do it the same way you've been doing it the entire ball game. Maybe change up some blocking assignments or run a few different plays, but stay with the overall essence of the running game.
So from the 36 now, 1st and 10.
Come on.
Garoppolo going to hand this one to Coleman. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. The Niners have the first down on a gain of 11.
I'm okay with the call there. In fact, I actually like it. I know they're down a couple of scores, but the running game worked in that situation. I would continue to go in that direction.
Under a minute to go in this 3rd quarter as they come up 1st and 10.
It's our time. It's our time, guys. It's our time.
Now Garoppolo on the bootleg. Hit from behind, and he's going to be driven down. Danielle Hunter able to get in there for his 2nd sack of the afternoon.
And that's his 2nd sack of the game, but this player, disruptive in all phases, whether he's going upfield, coming underneath, you name it. He's a big-time guy you have to block.
Got to imagine the pass rush will be equally intense here on 2nd down following the sack. It's 2nd and 18. They run with Breida. And a good swarm to the football defensively as they get him down at about the 40. Call it a gain of 2 as time has run out on this 3rd quarter of play. Seems pretty obvious defensively a key was stopping the run game. How have they done it so successfully?
To me, it seems that these guys really did a nice job of paying attention during the scouting report meeting. And you know, Brandon, when they do those, they talk about the top plays that these guys like to run. The best runs for the top running back, those are the ones you focus on and want to take away. And they've done that pretty successfully in this game.
The Niners on 3rd down. They've converted 3 out of 5 thus far. This is 3rd and 16. Throwing now is Garoppolo. Completes it to Coleman. Just a 1-yard pickup on the play, and that'll bring up 4th down. Did they maybe play that too safely on 3rd down? I know you don't want to just throw a ball blindly downfield, but that didn't help them a whole lot.
I think they probably said if it's open, take the shot. If not, get something safe because we do have 4th down to try and pick it up.
Line 54 in the face.
They'll go for it. It's Garoppolo looking for Sanders here on the deep ball. That's caught inside the 20. The time to pull out the stops is now, and they convert there on 4th down.
They're still looking for their first touchdown of the game, and for a second, I thought they had it right there.
Looking on the sideline, it's finally good to see nods of approval. It's a welcome sign of life that this offense needed. So after the big play, look at this, all the way down at the 15 now on 1st and 10. Inside the red zone, it's Garoppolo. And he's got it. And he'll be taken down at the 2-yard line. Another nice gain, 13 yards that time, and another first down. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah, you're down 2 scores. I don't think you need to rush just yet, but you can't take your time either.
Yeah, even if you don't want to commit to full 2-minute offense, you have to up the tempo, up the urgency. Maybe you're starting to call 2 plays in a huddle each time you snap the ball.
First and goal, and they got to be thinking a chance to get right back into this football game. Garoppolo again. And it's caught. And he'll be brought down right on the edge of the goal line at about the 1-yard line. A minimal gain there on the 8th play of the drive.
Well, they're unable to convert that into much, but it's never a bad idea to try to get the ball into a tight end of his caliber's hands and see what kind of disruption he can cause.
Second and goal from the 1.
117, 117. Single.
Again, they'll throw with Garoppolo. Under pressure now, and he's going to go down. Sack back around the 8. Linval Joseph picks up his 2nd sack of the afternoon.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
They've been so good on 3rd down all day long. Can they convert another here on 3rd and goal? On 3rd down, here's Coleman. And the stop will come inside the 5 at the 4. Give him 4 yards there, but they're still well short of the goal line with 4th down now looming. Well, look at the clock. You're down 2 scores. Have to go for this, don't you?
And they thought that as soon as they took over possession. It didn't matter where they were on the field. They were always going to be in 4-down territory. Backed up, in good situation, it didn't matter. So they've been preparing for that on their play sheet the entire time.
Garoppolo to throw for it on 4th. In trouble, and he'll go down back at the 12. 2 minutes left to play in this football game here on EA Sports. So the Vikings in possession of the football as we get you reset. And you'd have to figure they're just looking to burn these final 2 minutes away and get out of here with a victory. Here's Cook as they begin on the ground. And he'll get this one up to about his 14. And now we'll see a timeout used on defense as they stop it right out of the break with 1:57 to go in the ball game. This, in all probability, another run here on 2nd and 8.
Keep it up, defense. Keep it up, guys.
Cousins here to throw. And he almost had it defensively. Could have been a game changer there in this second half. Instead, it's 3rd down.
I think he's taking an awful chance with the football right there. You've got to lead, you've got to protect it, and he's taking chances putting it out there in a little bit of jeopardy.
Especially in a spot like this, 4th quarter, as you said, trying to cling to that advantage.
Yeah, that one probably should have been picked up.
3rd down, Dalvin Cook. And brought down, but not before they're able to get it up to the 25. Now San Francisco going to call their 2nd timeout. And they'll be disappointed to have to burn one there after giving up the 1st down. Following the good run by Cook, here's another 1st and 10. Now a handoff here to his running back. And he's upended after a gain of 2 out to the 27. Now the Niners going to signal for their 3rd and final timeout as they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming 2nd down play. They'll break the huddle, come up on 2nd and 8 at the 27-yard line. And he's able to take this one up to the 35-yard line. 9 yards to pick up there, and it's a first down.
I like watching the wide receiver screen because it's a real teamwork play. Because guess what? The guy catching the ball, he'll get all the credit. But how about the people up to block in front of him, either fellow receivers or offensive linemen? That makes that play a really nice timing play, and sometimes it can break big.
And not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10. A 10th carry in the game for Cook. Stop shy of the 45. Showed off a nice little move on the play, though. Just what you want on a first down run. Call it 8 yards, and it's 2nd and 2. So they come up on 2nd down. If they can get another run like we just saw, would likely put an end to this thing. Cousins just going to take this one down to a knee and end it. So the final seconds have ticked away in this Minnesota victory. And you look back over the score sheet, interesting. A very clean game, no turnovers by either side.
An absolute rarity when we watch games now because defenses have put such an emphasis on taking the ball away. Well, what we saw here was offenses spending their time saying, look, you know they're coming for it. Ball security is paramount. So they worked on that, not just a week of practice, but I'm sure all during training camp. Make sure when you have it, tuck it away because danger lurks everywhere you turn.
So that's a wrap. For Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And this has been a presentation of the NFL on EA Sports. For more, check us out at easports.com. With that, we say so long from Santa Clara.